Hey everyone, I'm Josh and I'm back again with more news on the upcoming MMO Ashes of Creation. Now as always, Ashes of Creation is still in the alpha phase and much of this information is still subject to be changed as the game goes further into development. In this video, I'm going to go over some of what we know regarding nodes and their progression. First off, you should probably know what nodes are within the game. And nodes are going to be preset points of interest within the world and have a zone of influence that will change over time based on the player's contribution in that specific area. So the world map will be divided up into regions, and each region will contain several nodes. And as a node progresses and advances, it will influence the type of content in that node and the surrounding areas. Now you won't be designing these nodes, but you will be able to partake in the governments within a specific node. You'll be able to influence the diplomacy, modify the building types and services within that node. At launch, there are scheduled to be 103 node locations, each having its own impact and development on the story within the surrounding area. Each node is going to have 7 different stages, and as players do content within or around that node, they'll contribute experience points towards the development of the node they're in. And when that node reaches the experience requirements for that stage, it will level up to the next stage. So each node is going to start out at level 0, which is the wilderness stage. And then from there it can progress to level 1, which is the expedition, level 2, which is a camp, level 3, which is a village, and the level 4, which is a town, a level 5, which becomes a city, and then finally level 6, which is a metropolis. As the node progresses, there will be different infrastructure within the node. These can include different merchants, various NPCs, services, walls and defenses, and of course several different types of buildings. At level 3, the village stage, this is when you are able to get citizenship, and this is when you're able to take part in the democracy within that node. So all of the nodes in the game will be assigned a different type. These types will affect the node's government, available services, the narrative, the amenities, and the types of various NPCs and buildings within that node. So there will be 4 different node types. The economic type, which will focus on trade and merchants. The military node, which will be focusing on combat and class training. Scientific nodes will focus on artisanal skills and construction. And then the divine node will focus on faith, skill, and equipment augments. Starting at a stage 1 node, you'll easily be able to tell the difference between the local nodes, and as the area develops, NPCs will vary depending on the type. So an economic type will bring more merchants, a military type will bring more guards, a scientific node will bring more scholars, and the divine nodes will have more priests. The type of node is predetermined and will be the same across every server within Ashes of Creation. And they're static, so they cannot be changed based on the node's level, contribution, or if it gets destroyed or anything. So if a level 4 military node is overrun and destroyed, it'll just revert back to a level 0 military node. It won't ever be able to be any other type of node. Beginning at level 3, when a node advances, it will enslave nearby nodes, making them into its vassals. These vassal nodes will essentially be owned by the parent node, and must always be at least 1 node stage below the parent node. This means that the vassal node cannot advance until the parent node advances to a new stage or is destroyed. Vassals will give all excess experience points to their parent node and will be able to have their own vassals as long as they fit within the parent node's zone of influence. They will be subject to the parent node's government alliances, the wars, taxes, and trades, and will be able to receive aid from them, and they will not be able to declare war on their parent node. As far as the open world goes, the node's advancement will affect the available quests, the dungeons, the raids, the events, NPCs, resources, and the storylines. Plus, all of this will be directly related to the most influential race within that node. For example, if a level 3 node with the majority of its contribution coming from the Renkai race, it will end up having a more Renkai architecture and styling, and most of the NPCs would then be Renkai orcs, and it would offer quest lines within the Renkai narrative. I did do another video on the different races within Ashes of Creation, so if you want to check that out, I'll include a link here. Every node will be given a scope of influence over a predefined geographic area called a zone of influence. So no matter what part of the world you're in, whether it's for questing, gathering, or raiding, you'll be helping determine which nodes will be developing and what zone of influence will be expanding. Any area a node has control over is considered a zone of influence, including its own vassal nodes, and vassal nodes will exist within the zone of influence of their parent node. This makes the game more of a living, breathing, and reactive world, so your actions will be shaping the zone of influence and advancing nodes to build into massive cities and help create the local storyline. So there's a quick breakdown of how the nodes will be working within Ashes of Creation. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if there's a video in particular that you'd like to see in the future. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos on Ashes of Creation. And as always, thanks. Peace out.